When I'm puffing on a potent, silent, but I stay strapped. Gave her wood, now she talking about family tree. You know it ain't that. Ain't got time for the bad bees, dog. I got money on mine. Watch my chain too long, have me nervous. I put money on your mind. The Cali be potent, that girl is a bogus. I can't risk my seed. My heart too low, took L's like fug. Big slime soon free. Had to drop cause the fans they keep asking. You drop trash, had the fans all laughing. Disappeared and I
What's up, my one-ohs? I've been meaning to do this video for you guys for a second, because everybody who sees me at sites, they're like, oh, we ain't seen this gun, why ain't this on the channel, rare. So I'm basically trying to do content for you guys. It is 9:20 in the morning. I have not slept since, what time did I get up yesterday? Probably about 4 o'clock. So keep in mind, I've been up the whole evening and another 9 hours. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm doing this for you guys. I want season 5 to be lit. So this one's more for the people who saw me at Mayhem recently. Quite a few people were asking about the loadout. They're like, oh, I haven't seen this one on the channel. And to be fair, it's because that was its first day out. Without further ado, let's get into it. And to be honest, it's such a cheap setup. Like, trust me, it's a cheap setup. It's why I haven't spoken about it on the channel, because for me, I was really looking for 2 setups. I wanted like a high grade gun that I can rely on, that could be like my show off / pro gun, and then I wanted something really cheap, something that survives. I can throw it about on the field, it can keep up with the competition out there, but there's not too much like mind work in it. It's more just dash a battery in it, load some BBs, take it out, and let's go. So like you can see, I finally, I've been talking about this on the channel, I finally managed to grab a gun case. I've grabbed 2. Luckily, we give God thanks, work has been doing me well, and you guys' subscribership has been doing well. If you want me to open a Patreon, let a brother know, because a couple people have said that, why don't you just do a Patreon? I'm happy to subscribe, so come on man, give me about 10 or 20 people that's down, and I will open one. I could do with the extra bread. You guys can help me sort my loadout out as well. So yeah, I grabbed this case. Well, I'm not even gonna go into the case, they're not paying me to promo, so this is my case. So the gun we're talking about today, well, the first gun we're talking about today in my loadout is the Specna FO1. That F stands for flex. What can I say about it? It's more than affordable. I think I probably spent so my boy bought this for I think he said 140, but I paid 120 off him, because he basically bought it, reviewed it, and then it just sat in a box, so he never actually took it out to a field. But there was quite a few people at Mayhem, like I was saying, who were like, what the hell are you shooting, bro? It shoots so hard and it's so reliable. And this was people who were getting shot by the gun. Now, like I said, it's so affordable. I paid 120 for it. To be fair, I have done a few little internal things. I'm not going to go too heavily into that, but straight out the box, it was good anyway. I just done those things because of personal preference. I've changed a few things in terms of how the burner looks. I chose to use one of their flex stickers just to give it that cool red and blue look, and I've chose to chuck another one over that side, because you know the shiny Specna arm sticker that comes with it, it kind of fell off. I don't know if it was my boy when he was doing reviewing, or they just didn't glue it on properly, but I noticed straight off when I got the gun, it's like that secondary, you know, the like shiny silvery sticker with the multicolor, that just wouldn't stay on it, so I just put it to one side. I think I got rid of it in the end. But you can see anyway, it's official, got my serial and everything. It's licensed by Specna Arms Industries, boom. Like I said, I've kept this gun really simple. I've just put a grip, I call it a V grip, just because in the motion of gameplay, when I just want that quick grip motion, it's there, and I can throw the gun about. It's trustworthy, I can move the gun about, I can pull the gun back if needs be, because I've got quite a lot of control over the weapon. Straight off top, what can I talk about? What have I changed? Yeah, so I changed the V grip because there was no grip on it originally. I put like a sling point at the top, because I noticed one annoying thing for me was I've got multiple sling points on my body gear, so I don't always like to have the gun in my hands. So yeah, I put a sling point. That was a must. It just makes gameplay with this thing a lot more useful when you need to switch to a pistol or something like that, or even just walking back to the safe zone, taking out your mag. If it's connected to your chest, it just gives your hands that freedom. I've also changed the stock because it just came with this normal generic stock, and I found that every time I'd pull the stock back and forward, what would happen is it would be tugging on the wires on inside, and when I did take them out and have a look, you'd see damage. So I had to kind of like electric tape them, and kind of just to give them the extra security. It's not that they're damaged, but just give them that full-blown electric tape just to make sure that as they go through that motion, they will survive, because I really want this gun to survive. Like, I really like this gun. I think I like this gun so much, I'll use it till the internals break and HP it, because it's really light as well. It operates as the same as any other M4, to be real, so there's not much to tell you. 2 flip-up sights come with it. I took off the back one, but I've left the front one because I feel like that one was quite relevant. And one thing I will say, that like very often on M4s, the front sight doesn't line up no matter how much you play with the hop up. One thing I would say about this that I found very interesting, and I did appreciate, was it did straight out the box line up with indoor shooting, and then when I took it outdoors and was adjusting the hop to far distance shooting, it still was lining up lovely. So I could use this via why I took off the scope, because averagely on M4s I will always have a scope in them, if you've noticed, but I decided to take it off because it just works. It works. It's probably the first gun I haven't had to do much to for it to just work. The whole day I was happy with it. I have nothing but good things to say. The only thing I would say is, if you're planning to take this out for a whole day, therefore make sure you have more than one battery. I found probably about halfway, 3/4 through the day, the battery did die mid-game, and it was a bit annoying because it was like probably about halfway, 3/4 through the game. So I ended up having to sit out a part of the game just because it died, but you'll see that in content anyway. But overall, beautiful gun. Selector switch, very solid. You can hear that little click. The body is polymer, but that's merely because of the price. The front outer rail is polymer. This feels metal though. The flash hider feels metal, so I will say that some kind of metal, inner barrel metal. Yeah, it does charge, because quite a few people was like, oh, on them cheap guns they don't tend to charge. It does charge really decent. Like, if you have a look, latch pops nicely, and I can get access to my hop up to turn it up or down, which, to be honest, like I said, for the value of the gun, I feel like I've seen guns that cost 2-3 times that amount and the catch doesn't work that nicely. Plus it does have that nice little click sound, and one thing I do like is it catches itself. I don't know if you can see it, it's caught itself, and then I can release and get that full close. For such a cheap gun, oh my gosh, the functionality is amazing. To remove or separate the two bodies, it does have an Allen key slot, not one of the knockout bolts like for example my G&G or my LT35, but I feel like that's a nice function, just because what it does is with my G&G, I found that it's like I'd open the gun even when I didn't need to, just because it was so easy to open. Whereas with this, it's like you really have to make a decision to be like, all right, I'm gonna separate the upper. It might be annoying during games, like say you have a jammage, trying to clear that. But one thing I did find that I did really like about this, the barrel is long enough that say you were to just push a unjamming rod through it and allow the BB to flow, what would happen is it would flow directly into your hop-up chamber. I don't know if you can see it because of the lighting, because the lighting's a bit mad, but yeah, the hop-up chamber in there, like you can see that blue hole, it would flow in there, and you either turn the gun upside down and it would fall out, or I found that I would fire the gun and at points that it would fly out. Just be careful to not have the gun upside down when you do that, because I found one time when I did that, it flew out and kind of like pinged and just about missed my face. So do keep that in mind when trying to clear your barrels. But overall, I love this gun. I currently may sell this version because one of my boys is coming into Airsoft, a man like Mona. I want him to have something reliable, but yeah, man, like, it's just a beautiful gun. For me, even if I was to sell this one to Mona, I'm due to buy one back. Like, I like the gun that much. It's just affordable, it's light, it does the job. And for me, one thing I did find very interesting that I did want to talk about was like, it runs on it runs on 7.4 volt batteries. Them 7.4s made me feel like I was using something like 9.6 or 11.1. So I just have nothing bad to say about it. Like, even the motor, it just felt reliable. the shot for such a short barrel, like the distance this thing was shooting. Obviously it's not the best thing on the field. It's a 120 pound, 30 pound gun, but for what it is, like I don't even want to sound like I'm capping, this will outshoot my G&G, this will outshoot my LT. It probably won't outshoot it in terms of rounds per second. They're slightly more expensive guns. However, overall shot and distance and reliability and consistency in shot, this wins every single time. I've played with those guns hundreds of times. I played with this once and I fell in love. Like, I fell in love. And the good thing I did like about it is because it's such a cheap gun, the day when we went Mayhem, you'll see it anyway, content's due to come out. It's the 17th of February footage, if I'm correct. No, it's not the 17th, that's a lie. It's the 11th, sorry, of February footage. So when you do see that one, have a watch and you'll see the gameplay from this gun, because I might not use it for a while where I've got the new gun. But you'll see that day was so muddy. There was points where it's like I was stepping and I was sinking into the mud. And one thing is, I will say, is this gun got dirty. I was able to just clean it and it just kept on going. Even the mags at times, they got a little dirty. I just chucked them in and it kept on going. One thing I will say is, because I saw this with another player, was don't let mud get into these areas of your mags. No matter what you do, don't let it get into these slots of your mags, because once it gets there, that feeding problem and your springs and all of that nonsense, I see so much people go through that on the day. So avoid your mags hitting the floor. Don't do all that cool movie shit and let them drop on the floor. Do that shit when it's dry. Keep your mags pull. Let me show you, because I know niggas gonna be like, what are you talking about? Niggas would normally just drop their mag like that and let it hit the floor. Don't do that on days that it's muddy. What I was doing is I'd pull, reload, pull my next one, and that one goes into the body gear or into my dump pouch. Do not try and show off for people, because at the end of the day, the people that you're trying to show off for, they are not paying your airsoft bill to maintain these guns. Yeah, so we're gonna keep that one there. Like, I could take out the battery and all these things, but it's very simple. Like, it's a Daniel Arms stock. So obviously when you pull forwards, it moves forwards, and then when you pull up again and move it back, it will move back. The easy way to take it off is, it has like I'll show you quickly, it's like a grip function. So if you pull it the opposite way, really downwards, it will just slot off like that, and then you have access to your battery, like you can see. I'm not going to really go any further because I like how I've got this gun set up, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. They say if something's not broken, don't fix it. One thing I would say is, I would have liked the stock to be slightly longer, and I just say that just because battery space. Like with the small batteries, it was perfect. It would go all the way down. I noticed with these slightly bigger batteries, let me show you what they look like. If I've got it in here, I might not have it in here. Yes, I do. Okay, boom. So with these slightly longer batteries compared to the shorter lipo ones, I found that the stock only wants to go like 3/4 of the way, which is still fine, because the measurement, like I'll show you, the measurement, I'm sitting probably this distance from the camera, just so you can kind of analyze and see. And I'll show you when I grip the gun, because like I said, I just feel like value for money. And trust me, Specna Arms is not paying me to say this, why I didn't really want to review this gun, because I feel like anytime I review anything Specna Arms, I have a lot of good things to say. However, my channel is transparent. If you notice, when we reviewed the AR-35, it had its problems, and I spoke about its problems. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever try a more higher voltage in that gun. You would damage that gun to shreds. Always use the recommended battery. But I think that was more my fault, to be real. But yeah, so that's this bad boy. I've obviously put a GoPro attachment, because I feel like where this is, so look, and this is it sling to my chest, like you have a good grip, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm still a good distance from the camera, like I can move my hands 1 2 3 4 5, and now I'm in the pictures, you get what I'm saying? So yeah, like it is a good distance anyway, you know what I'm saying? And it's comfortable. So yeah, man, like I didn't give a rating on the gun on the day, but I want to rate this in the beginner rate, like in the beginner how would you explain it, in the beginner category, I'd probably rate this gun somewhere around the mark of like 9.5, 9. The only reason why I wouldn't give it like a 10 is just because when you start going into guns that's worth like maybe £400, £350, £500, that kind of margin, I think that those kind of guns will kind of show this gun up. But just because things like rate of fire per second, things like what weight that gun can shoot, because I found that anything from 2.0 back to about 3.2 shot perfectly fine. I was gonna run some 4.0s through it just to check, but I was very panicky just because of some of the internals in this weapon being plastic. So I was just like, stay away from it. If it will shoot up to 3.2, most of the expensive weapons, that's what people are shooting at max, 3.2s, unless you're going up into snipers and DMRs and stuff like that. So for me, I would recommend shoot 2.5s. You'll get the travel speed plus the travel distance. If you really want to push your game, go 2.8 and 3. Don't really go any higher than that. Not because I feel like it can't do it, I just feel like you'll damage your gun. Like, let's say the lifespan without any touching and opening of this gun, say, is like, say, 3 years, for example. You'd probably take that lifespan down to maybe a year or 9 months just by shooting something like 4.5s out of this. There's just no need. It's great, it's good for CQB, it's good for outdoors, it's bloody affordable, you cannot go wrong. So yeah, so that's the first one. Obviously I've got it in the case, and the case had a whole setup for that loadout, but I'll speak about that loadout at a later date, because like I said, I may sell this version, which means that this case will change again, and when it does change, that's another video I can do for you guys. But I did want to kind of just show you guys that gun, because so much people were speaking about it on the day, and I know it was one gun that I never actually had a chance to kind of do a review or talk over on the channel type thing. I didn't even unbox it on the channel, to be fair, but I did that on purpose because I bought this gun as a review gun. I wasn't sure if this gun was gonna stay in the loadout long term, so it was more like a hit and miss just to see how things go. But things went well. Then we're gonna move swiftly on. So there's a pistol. Quite a few people did ask me about this as well, because they were like, fucking hell, I was getting shot by a pistol from so far. So I kind of want to show you guys about that bad boy as well. So on that day, how I had run that gun was, and you know what, maybe I should put another one, but yeah, how I had run this gun was, it had a longer inner barrel. So like you can see, I've got a long ass inner barrel for it, which would probably, the inner barrel starts somewhere there, if I'm correct, roughly about there, which means that I've got quite a bit much, almost like double the barrel length of a standard pistol, almost. So that's like half of what your barrel is. So I've got, yeah, so I've got like 50% increase on the barrel length, if you have a look at the distance. And then obviously I had a silencer over it, so people weren't able to see that. But yeah, so this side of the loadout is very simple. It's a Glock. I think I've spoken about this one quite a few times on the channel. It's a WE Glock. I believe it's a Gen 3 EU17. It's reliable, because a few people have said to me, why didn't you go 18, or why didn't you go 19, or why didn't you go Glock 21 or 23? And I was just like, if something isn't broken,
I had to do. If we unified, we overcome slavery. Many think it, I just say it, call it bravery. Young, progressive and black, you know they hate to see independent. I don't care what labels could pay a G. So much leng past my lung. Private company feeding us GMO foods, they wanting us trapped. My young boy just came home for a booting, that young nigga tapped. Can't be slipping when I'm puffing on a potent, silent but I stay strapped. Gave her wood, now she talking about family tree, you know it ain't that. Ain't got time for the bad bees, dog, I got money on mine. Watch my chain too long, had me nervous, I put money on your mind. The Cali be potent, that girl is so bogus, I can't risk my seed. My heart too low, took L's like fug. Big slime soon free. Had to drop cause the fans they keep asking. You drop trash, had the fans all laughing. Disappeared and I